What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the show. So, where is the signature? We're waiting for President Biden to sign the Social Security Fairness Act. He has not signed it yet. And some people are a little concerned. I have to say that, it's raising an eyebrow that he hasn't signed it yet. I don't know why it's taking this long. The bill was passed by the Senate last week on Saturday, so the 21st. He basically has 10 days, excluding Sundays. He has 10 days to sign this bill, or it will go back to Congress. But the tricky part here is Congress has adjourned. So he has a few different things. He can sign it, he can veto it, or he can send it back to Congress. So obviously, if he vetoes it, then it goes back to Congress, and Congress will have to vote. And both chambers, they need 2/3 in both chambers in order to override his veto. So Congress, realistically, if you want to look at it this way, Congress has more power than the president. And a lot of people don't know that, but Congress, they create the laws, they pass the laws, they send it to the president for signature. But if the president vetoes a bill, it goes back to Congress, and with 2/3, they can override his veto. Now, they have 2/3. I mean, if we're looking at the votes in both the House and the Senate, they do have the 2/3 that they would need. And so it could pass even if President Biden vetoes it. However, it's a time. Do they have the time to do it? And that's the important something that we need to focus on. Do they have time to do it? Now, we're looking at worst case scenario. Let's say he vetoes the bill. Do they have the time? They would have to call Congress back into special session. And so Leader Johnson and Leader Schumer, they would have to call both chambers back, and then they would have to vote on this bill. And so that's worst case scenario. I don't think that's what's going to happen, but that's worst case scenario. Now, let's say he signs it. If he signs it, it's official, it becomes law. Now, the other situation is a little more concerning. Let's say he doesn't sign it. If he doesn't sign it, then it returns to Congress, but Congress has to be in session in order to receive the fact that he didn't sign it. Because if they're in session and he chooses not to sign it, then it becomes law. But if they're not in session and he tries to return it, then it doesn't become law because they're not there to receive it. So I know it's confusing, but when it comes down to it, if he doesn't sign it, we might see a scramble in D.C., and we might see Speaker Johnson calling Congress back, calling the House back, and because it initiated in the House, and so it would go back to the House, and so then they would have to deal with that. Okay, so they would have to be able to receive it, and I don't know if they all have to be in session to receive it. I don't know. Okay, I don't know all the answers to all these different ways that this could happen, but the bottom line is, if he doesn't sign it, we're going to have to figure out what Congress is going to do next. And if he vetoes it, then at least if he vetoes it, they have an opportunity to pass it. They'll have a short time frame, but they still have an opportunity to pass it. So we'll have to see. I don't know why it's taking this long. It shouldn't take this long. And I mean, it should have been signed off on. I was hearing rumors that President Biden is on vacation right now for the holidays. So even if he's on vacation, technically he could still sign it. We've had presidents on vacation before. I remember the stimulus check in December. You had President Trump. He was on vacation. And so they had to print it out on special paper and send it to him, and he was able to sign it. So it's not, just because he's on vacation doesn't mean that he can't sign the bill. He can still do it. They have ways to get the bill to him, so that wouldn't be an issue. But it's just the fact that we're waiting and we're waiting, and we would think he just signed off on, I think it was 50 different bills. He just signed 50 different bills, but he didn't address this one. Now, there's something else I want to talk about too. I can't see Leader Schumer bringing this bill, the Social Security Fairness Act, bringing it to the floor in the Senate and passing it in the Senate without talking to the Biden administration first. I can't see that happening. So they would have to, I can't see Leader Schumer doing that. because now it would make him look bad because he's pushing this bill through Congress. He gets it signed off, and the president doesn't want it. The president doesn't want to sign it. So I just can't see that happening. So I'm sure Leader Schumer, before he brought it to the floor in the Senate, I'm sure he talked to the Biden administration and said, hey, are you guys on board for this? Is this something that President Biden is going to sign off on? He might have even talked to President Biden directly and said, are you okay with this? Because it would look very, very bad for both politicians, for President Biden as well as Leader Schumer, if they hadn't talked about this and you have Leader Schumer just putting this out there and voting and passing it and then sending it to him. And now you have people that are excited about the fact that they're eliminating weapon GPO, and this could mean a lot of money coming to a select group. It just doesn't seem like that would be the right way to go about it. The right way to go about it is Leader Schumer talks to the Biden administration before bringing it to the floor, talks to the Biden administration, and the Biden administration says, look, we like this in the proposal, but we don't like this. And then Leader Schumer brings a new bill to the Senate floor, and they try to pass a new bill. That seems logical to me. Or make amendments to the bill, and basically that's what they would do. They'd make amendments to the current bill that was passed in the House, and then they would pass it in the Senate and then send it back to the House so they can pass it. So that's what makes sense to me. It just doesn't make sense. Now, I mean, there are two things that don't make sense to me. One is they haven't signed it yet. The president hasn't signed it yet. And then the other thing that doesn't make sense is why would Leader Schumer bring it to the floor if he knew that President Biden didn't like the proposal? And so this is where we are right now. We're going to wait, and we're hopefully later today I have better news, and this will all be behind us, and it'll be official, and we won't have to worry about the elimination of weapon GPO. But as it stands right now, we're still waiting for the president to sign this proposal. He can do it over the weekend too, so we still have a little bit of time. And I'm recording this video on Friday, so if he doesn't do it today, he doesn't do it Saturday, he can still do it Sunday, he can still even do it on Monday. But the hope is that he goes ahead and takes care of this so people don't have to worry about it any further. And so like always, I will have links if you guys want to know more about WEP or GPO. I'll have a link at the end of this video. So at the end screen, that last screen that you see, you're going to see some links that you can click on, and they will talk a little bit about WEP and GPO, what it is. It'll explain it to you. So you can see if you qualify under weapon GPO. And this is going to be a situation where people are going to be receiving more money. And on average, WEP, I think it's like $320 or $360 per month on average, so the average person. And then when it comes to GPO, you're looking at even larger increases to your benefits. And I've talked about that in previous videos as well, so you can check my videos. Just this week, I talked about some of those, and the week prior to that. So check out my videos, my latest videos, and you'll find out all the information you want to know, that you need to know about the Social Security Fairness Act. If you guys have any questions, let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.